Great. So, good evening, all the educators across the globe. Myself, Pramod Deshpande. I'm TGT Chemistry at Vishwajot International School, and I've been working in the current school since a decade. Besides that, I have done diploma in school management, followed by diploma in teaching of science by NCRT, and currently I'm researching on world of philosophy. So, the topic which I have chosen today is making learning effective. All of us know that since we are in the pandemic, the style of teaching, style of learnings have been changing again and again. Uh, More innovative styles we are getting to see. So, how can we have the good style of teaching so as the learning would be more and more effective? So today we are going to discuss about how we can make learning effective by bringing innovations in our teaching. So I'm sharing my screen. So I'm going to start this session with an icebreaker. So can I get the virtual thumbs up if you all can see my screen? Great, great. So can you just answer both the icebreakers? The first one is let me unmute you all. Yeah, you can go ahead now. Yes, Vishaka ma'am, you can go ahead. Okay, I have been received some responses in the chat. Okay, come on, teachers, come on, educators. What do you think? What are the answer of both the icebreakers? Vishaka ma'am, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself and go ahead. Can you just note whether you can unmute or not? Great. So we have received the answer for the first icebreaker, that is ENT. So can we have a round of applause to Sumati ma'am? She has answered the first answer. So if you look at the combinations, we have the initial letters of all the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So ENT is a perfect combination of next three letters. Great, great, ma'am. Can you answer the second one? Let us see who can answer the second one. Yes. How is 7 different from rest of the numbers between 1 to 10? Great. Again, Sumati ma'am, for the right answer. 7 is a number which has 2 syllables. Right. Great, great. Great, Dipali ma'am also. So, yeah, we have done with the both the icebreakers, and I would like to congratulate you all for the right answers. Great. So now let us begin the topic, that is today's topic. So we have, I want to know your thoughts. So I'm going to start this topic with a poll. So what do you mean by learning? So I'm sharing the same link in the chat. I want you all to go through the link and do the needful. So I'm sharing the link in the chat. Yeah, so I have shared the link in the chat. I want you to open the link. Good evening, everyone. Ritika ma'am, good evening. So I have shared the link with all of you in the chat. I want you to go through the link and let me know your thoughts. Great. 11 of you have mentioned your thoughts. Come on, teachers. Come on, educators. What do you think? What do you mean by learning? Yes. Last minute. Come on, teachers. Be quick. Last minute. Yeah. Last 30 seconds. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. ZERO 0. That's it. Let us see the results. Let us see the results of the poll. Great. So I'm sharing my screen to let you all know the results of the poll. So there we have the results in front of us. 8 of you think learning is understanding. There is only uh, an educator over here who thinks that learning is knowing. There are 13 who think learning is applying, and there are 9 who think learning is innovating. So great. We have got to know the audience now. Now let us move forward in the presentation. Okay. So now I would like to listen more from you all. So now those who have chosen learning is understanding. So can you please let us know? Anyone can raise the hand and go ahead, or anyone can unmute himself or herself and go ahead. Why do you think learning is understanding? You can use the chat option also. Those who have responded that learning is understanding. Why do you think that learning is understanding? Come on, teachers. What do you think? Why learning is understanding? Why have you chosen that? Why learning is understanding? Great. So I have received a response in the chat. Is that if you understand, you will learn, and then you can apply also. Thank you, Tanushri ma'am, for your opinion. One more opinion I have received from Rashmi ma'am is that first we must have to understand the topic. Okay. So you find learning is understanding. Sapna ma'am says we learn after understanding. Okay. Deepali ma'am, you can unmute and go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good
Yeah,
evening.
yeah. Good evening, ma'am. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Yes. I think so. Whenever we are learning something, we really need to clear a concept because we are going to use the same further while learning. So whenever we are going to further, we'll be going for like understanding that. So whenever we understand something, that is the main thing that we have to understand what we are learning. So it is very important that we must understand first.
Great, great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your thoughts. Now, there was
Welcome,
only
sir.
there was someone who chose that learning is knowing. So can you please let us know, one who has chosen that learning is knowing, what are your thoughts? Why do you think that the learning is knowing? Okay, I think so. The one who has chosen the option of knowing might not be able to reply, like may not be able to reply. I don't know the reason. Okay, but we will move ahead. We feel, yeah, learning is also a knowing. Okay, why? Can someone go ahead with this? Anybody else want to express about this? What do you think that the learning is knowing? If yes, then why? If no, then why? What do you think? Okay, I have received a response in the chat. It says that when we understand something, like we get it no. Okay. Okay, when something is unknown to us, and after learning, we got to know. So it is knowing. Fine. Great. Thank you for your responses in the chat. The next option was learning is applying. I think so many of you chose the same. So yes, anyone can unmute himself or herself and go ahead with this. What do you think? Why do you think that learning means applying? Come on, it needs to be interactive. I need your participation to make it to make this session lively. Great. Savita ma'am says we should know the concept for learning, right? Okay. Now those who have chosen application. Okay. So I have received one response from Josephine. Learning is not only knowing and understanding, but also we should know where and when to apply. Very good. Very good, sir. Very good. Great. Anybody else? What do you think? Why learning is applying for you? Realization. Very good. It is realization also. When you learn something, it's like you realize. Hands-on experience. Great. Great, Sumati ma'am. Thank you for your active participation. Great. Then the last option was innovation, that is innovating. What, why do you think that learning is equal to innovating?
Good evening, sir. I think once we innovation means already we have covered the levels of knowing, understanding, and existing application.
Yeah.
So you are trying something different. So already the other levels are already achieved, sir. Like if you think of innovation,
Great.
it covers the other levels.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rekha ma'am, for your response. So if you look at learning as a concept, it is a vast concept. It's a brief, vast concept. So learning is not only understanding or not only applying or not only knowing or not only innovating, it's everything, isn't it? When we say we learn, we understand, we know. Once we know something, then only we are able to apply. If you are able to apply, then only you are able to innovate. So at every stage we learn. Learning is everything. So now we know that we have three main types of learners. There are three different types of learnings, or we can say there are three main different types of learners: audio learners, auditory learners, visually learners, and kinesthetic learners. Okay, so now we know that each child is unique. Everyone's style of learning is different. So how can we make, or how can we plan our teaching in such a way so that all those styles can be used very efficiently to make our teaching effective so that the learning becomes effective at the end. So now we are going to proceed towards different strategies which are going to help us, learning effective.
എനിക്കൊരു പരിപാടിയാണ് ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ട് 2 മുറി അടുക്കള ജയനെ വിൽക്കണോ ഞാൻ
Sorry, ma'am. Okay. Now, this is the most important strategy we must follow or we must apply is knowing them and their interest. If you are going, if you are entering the class, you must know what type of children you have in the class. You must know children personally. You must know children from all the angles, like how is he when it comes to studies, how is he when it comes to games, how is he when it comes to activities. So you must know the child from every angle. More you know the child, it helps you to know how he learns. So I feel knowing is very important, and not only in terms of co-curricular activities as we discussed, as I said, but when it comes to academic, like at what pace he learns is very important to know. So every child is unique, every child learns with a different pace. So it is very important to understand the child and as children. So when you think of a class, that is group of children, it is very important to know about their interest also. Many a time we design our content in a pretty well interesting manner. We try our best to deliver it. We get the outputs, but before that I feel it is very important to know the child's interest or interest of children. Like many of them might have interest in singing, many of them have dancing, art. There are various sectors, there are various fields where children may have their interest. So it is very important to know their interest. Once you get to know the interest, it is going to be very helpful for you in making the learning effective. So knowing the children and their interest is an important factor when it comes to learning. Next is hands-on activities. As all of us know, since we are online, we all of us are trying very, very best for making this learning effective. So hands-on activities. Children learn by listening, children learn by watching, children learn by doing. So when they feel something, they learn more. So hands-on activities is a tool where they are about to feel it, what they are learning. Like if I am doing an experiment, okay, so experiment can be done with the help of material which is very easily available in the house or around somewhere. So they can easily bring it in the house and they can perform. So they get the concept very well rather than just listening and watching. So feel is very important. So this feel is given by the hands-on activities. So when it comes to hands-on activities, we must know there is a coordination between head, hand, and heart. So when they all of three of them, when these 3 H's coordinate in a best possible way, they bring some amazing results. So it is very important to include variety of hands-on activities. It doesn't matter whether the subject is science. Hands-on activities might be included in English also. Like if you are doing nouns and pronouns, relate those nouns and pronouns with the actions, make some rhymes with all of them. So let them feel the learning, let them feel the learning. More they feel, more they get. So important to include variety of hands-on activities to make the learning effective. The next is innovations happen more when they are together. We know that when children are in the group, they come up with the various ideas, they come up with the various strategies, they come up with amazing points. So whenever they are in the group, it is always good. So we know the most used tool by the educators is cooperative learning. So cooperative learning is somewhere we have a group of children with different roles. One is the monitor of the group, while other is a material monitor. One, somebody is going to keep the records, somebody is going to observe. So all those children who are working in the group work in a synchronization manner, so as to get the learning effective, or so as to make the learning effective. So working in a group, that is cooperative learning, is very important to make the learning very effective. Since we are online, we are using Zoom, we are using Google Meet, so we have an options of breakout rooms and all, where we can make the breakout rooms, and we can give or we can prescribe them a role where they can do, and these roles can be changed later on. Somebody is monitor, in the next one some other might be the monitor. So when these roles keep on changing, they form kind of bond which helps them in learning very well. It creates a very good learning environment. So cooperative learning is the best tool to have. Next is use of technology. When it comes to use of technology, it doesn't mean you just have to, switch on the video, watch the video, asking the questions and done. No, like whatever they have learned, there are various ways of expressing their learnings. So it could be, as I said, if they are learning reflection, so going out and finding somewhere where is reflection taking place, shooting a video for reflection. So like the way I have included the video in this slide is, children have learned about life history of silk moth, and they have come up with their understanding. So uh, I just would like to play this for all of you. Great. So it's like, it's not necessary they must come up, we must ask them the questions and they must give the answers to the questions asked. It could be a different way of learning. It could be different way of understanding how much they have learned. So use of technology is very important. Next is interesting homework. This definitely helps in making learning effective. Children are kind of living beings, who are not satisfied with something which is permanently happening with them every time. Like, only if homework is going in the form of Q&A, they might not be interested to do the homework every time. But if the same homework can go in a different form, they are eager to do it. Like, the picture shows how digestive system has been understood by these girls through a model. So making models, again, related to the feeling. When they feel it, oh, this is how we have liver, this is how we have stomach, this is how we have small intestine. So when they feel it, they learn more. So giving homework in interesting manner is definitely a useful tool to make the learning effective. Next is integration, which is very important. Don't just limit the subject, or don't just limit the topic to particularly that subject. Like the slide itself says, ki water cannot be only done in the environment, but water can be thought from a theological perspective, scientific perspective, structuralist perspective, historical perspective. So make integration, use integration a lot. So this will surely help in making the learning effective. It's not keeping the topic related to only that particular subject. Let the topic be come up with different subjects. Like if I am doing a chapter in English related to global warming, then I must speak about global warming. I must speak about, I must ask them about, like, what do you know about global warming? Why global warming? How can it be minimized? So it is always good, like when you do this, when you do the integration, it helps you, you know, creating a good discussion in the class, creating a good communication in the class. So at the end, it helps in enhancing the skills of the children. So integration is surely an helpful tool to make the learning effective. This is very important. Children should never feel ki whatever they learn is only in the classroom. They must know, they must feel that learning never happens only within the four walls. Learning is again across the four walls. So you must kind of create the environment in them that they should feel ki, yeah, there is learning across those four walls. Next is focus on skills. So when you plan your lesson, specifically when you plan your objectives, objectives need to be uh, made by thinking children in the mind first. The language of the objective should be child-faced language. So after this particular topic, which of the skills of my children are going to be used or are going to be developed? So it is very important what kind of skills they are going to develop after learning this particular topic. So focusing on skills is very important. When you focus on a skill, ultimately it helps you in making the learning effective. Next is never underestimate them. When we design activities or when we plan activities for them, sometime we may have a question in the mind: will my children be able to do that? They will surely do that. Never underestimate them. We never know how each child learns. Each child has a different style of learning. They come up with their own styles of learning. So it is like this: you should not underestimate them. They will surely able to do that. No answer is wrong. Many a time we ask questions in the class in the form of like if it is maths, like word problems are there, pictorial problems are there. So sometimes the children who are good, who are well practiced, who does deliberate practice, they are able to reach the answers. But there are few, they try well, but they are not able to reach the answers. But you must celebrate the fact that they have tried. You must celebrate the process of trying. It's not that they have got the answer which is wrong. No answer is wrong. Whatever they have tried is absolutely correct. They might have done it in a wrong way, so they have not got the answer, but they have tried. You must celebrate the process of trying. That is, no answer is wrong. We know that every child is unique. Every child is unique. So we need to celebrate the uniqueness. It's not that both of them should learn with the same pace. Sorry, both of them should learn like this only. No, every child is unique. Everyone's style of learning is unique. So we must celebrate their uniqueness. So that is again an important thing to make the learning effective. This is again very important. You cannot just lecture throughout the session. Surely this will not help you in making learning effective. Don't lecture. You can be a good facilitator to have the good discussions in the class. You can be a good person, who are making the discussions happen in the class. But unless until you lecture, it is not going to work at all. So don't lecture. Rather than lecturing, be a facilitator and involve them more in the whole process to make the learning effective. Let them do more. Children learn more when they do more. Children, again, I am saying, children learn more when they do more and they listen less. So we need to see that our classes needs to be child-led classes, child-centric classes, where children are at the center, where children are doing more, children are listening less and doing more. Just to thought about, like, doing more is what? Like, right from the start of the session till the end, they must use number of skills. So it's like, if teacher has given a riddle, so they must be thinking. So thinking is again a skill. They must be remembering. It is again a skill. They must be applying their knowledge. It is again a skill. So try to see that they use most of the skills. And when they do it, it helps in making learning effective. They must do more. They must listen very, very less. In fact, as I mentioned, zero lecturing. So they must do more and listen very, very less. That is child-led classes, or you can say child-centric classes. Again, this is very important. This may affect the process of learning. So don't ever create fear of results. Let them learn by their own pace. Let them never afraid about the results. Let them never afraid about the outputs. Let them learn by having fun. Let them enjoy the process of learning. If you are keep on going to say, like, if you will not learn, you'll not get the good marks, and so on, all of us know that surely this is not going to work. So it is very important to not to create fear about the results. Let the results be anything. Like, since class 5, class 6, class 10, if you start inculcating only those thoughts in the mind, then they will always look learning from the perspective of the outputs, that is results, and results in terms of numbers, which is so sad. If result is in terms of rubrics, we get to know about the skills and the understanding of them. But if it is going to help in terms of numbers, it is surely going to create fear among them. So it is always good to not to create any kind of fears about the results when we think of learning. Then next is ways of delivering the content. Various subjects have various teaching styles we all educators use. So if it is science, performing the experiment; if it is English, performing a drama; if it is history, starting the class by a story. So we have ways of delivering the content. So you should see that the same way should not be getting repeated every time. Again, children may find it bore. So every time there has to be variety in the way of delivering the content. You should see that the way should not be same, or else then it becomes monotonous for them, and it may affect their interest in the process of learning. So should try to see that there are variety of ways in delivering the content. Great. So does anyone want to ask anything? Please let me know. I have received a lot of responses in the chat. Yeah, instead of that, learning outcomes must be preferred. Thank you, Vishnu, sir. Great. Anyone wants to say anything or express his or her thoughts? You can go ahead. Okay, somebody has asked me to explain the same slide again, that is delivering the content. So just to let you know, suppose if you are teaching them about water cycle. Okay, if it is a class 5 or class 3 and you want to teach them, or you want to know them what is water cycle, which they were actually do in the primary grades. So don't start your class with water cycle. Try to have an activity as a hook of your class, so that which will take them towards the water. Create a kind of riddle related to the water, so then they arrive at the answer, that is water. Then how do we have water on the earth in different forms? So some of them may come that is in the liquid forms, where we have sources of waters, we have glaciers, we have rivers of ice, we have moisture in the atmosphere. So ask them such a questions in a way that they must be able to come up with it is all about the states. So we have water available in different states. We have water available in the form of solid, in the form of liquid, in the form of gas. Then ask them what might be happening so as the ice is melting, being water. Then we the heat is provided to the water so as to have the vapors. So what might be the happening, and is it happening once or is it happening on a repetitive times? So then you can get to have the process of water cycle. So directly not to touch the content. It is always good to start with the hook and interest, and then going to the content. Even as I mentioned, no lecturing. Don't ever lecture the class. Rather than make it more interesting, like create a kind of atmosphere in the class where children are eager to talk. Now if he says something, okay, this is my opinion, somebody will come up with his opinion. And when there are lots of opinions, surely their opinions will take you to the concept, will take you to your content. Yeah, even you can start with the previous knowledge of students. Great. I have received few questions. I feel we'll do a Q&A round later on, because I have an interesting task next. We'll do the task, and again we'll do Q&A. Okay. So there are 3 situations I have for all of you. I just want all of you to zoom a little bit so as to read all those 3 situations carefully, and just go through it. Once you are done, you may give virtual thumbs up, or you can send a message in the chat that we are done. So then we can proceed. Is it legible? Can someone let me know, is it legible? If you zoom it, is it legible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Great.
Najib.
Thank you. Thank you for your response, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Great. I have received few messages in the chat that they have read. We'll wait for few more seconds. And I'm very happy that many of you are coming with your thoughts itself. Children, sorry, sorry, educators, we are going to come up with a survey. So again, I have created one more poll for you. So I feel poll is something which always helps us to know the thoughts very precisely and clearly. Great. So I feel all of you have gone through all those 3 situations. Again, I'm sharing the link with you in the chat. So please go through the link and do the needful. You have a minute to do it. Great. So last 20 seconds. Great. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay. Let us see the results. Great. I would like to share my screen for the results. So here we have 29 of us think that is 85% of us think that third situation is a situation where you feel that the learning is exactly correct. I think so. What we've been discussed about strategies till now, all the strategies, mostly all the strategies get fit into the third situation. So that is the reason we have third situation where we feel that the learning is more effective or learning is happening more in the third situation. Great. Now we can have questions. There was a question being asked somebody before my last slide was related with how to make children speak in online classes. Okay, so I feel many of us are here who are eager to answer this. So does someone want to answer, or do you want me to go ahead? Great. So I feel again interest. It's not only necessary that you are creating the interest in the topic. It is very important to create the interest related to your subject, related to you again. I feel children are keen observer. They do observe each and every small thing of ours. Uh, they say that one has to be very well prepared uh, before entering the class, but it's not that you need to be well prepared in terms of content, but you need to be very well prepared in terms of everything. And it's a movement like when you get children involved in the class, when many a times they are distracted, once that movements make them involved in the class, that's it. So interest, creating more and more interest about your content, about your topic, is an only way I feel to make them talk. Again, if they are talking, if somebody is trying, appreciate more. Great, uh, you have really expressed your opinion very well, appreciate them more, make them feel that online learning or every like Zoom, Google, these are the safe places. Let them may not feel like as being online, if somebody unmutes and express his or opinion, they may find ki rest of the children are laughing, they are just making it which they should not be. So they should feel that this environment is very, very safe. Then only children will be able to talk. So creating interest is must in your topic, in your subject, in everything, and appreciating them more. Though their answer is wrong, appreciate the process of try. They have tried. That is a very, very big thing. It's not that just they are just sitting somewhere in the corner by keeping themselves quiet. They are trying. It's not that like they have only tried 10%. You cannot expect that they can try 100% every time. But yeah, 100 is only possible when they start from 10. 100 doesn't come as it is. Great. Anybody else want to go ahead with the doubts related to the strategies or related to the learning? Great. Then I'm sharing. Okay, need to know the video creator used in the silkworm slide. Okay, Sumati ma'am, it's not a any particular video creator. You might have heard about a computer programming called Scratch. So Scratch is something. Yeah. So Scratch is something, which help them in developing the characters, and you believe that the Scratch works really well in all the subjects, not only in the science but in all the subjects where they and the making process in the Scratch is very interesting. Children do take immense interest in the Scratch, so use Scratch. Surely effective technique. Best strategy to teach mole concept. Uh, yeah, that is a very valid question when it comes to online. I feel physically when it comes to the mole concept, we always do mole concept with the help of clay, by making the small atoms and all. So it's not possible to make these many number of atoms, but yeah, we can get that imagination, by handling. Like we when we say an atom is something which is the smallest particle, can't be seen by naked eyes, kind of. So it is always imagination, but let us zoom the imagination so as to have the atom like a small ball bearing or small ball of a clay, and then they get to know about, like, then we can go ahead with the mole concept like this. Then Rekha ma'am has come up with a very good solution related to uh, making children speak, that get them you know be connected with them. It's not necessary ki you are connecting with them only by the means of your topic or the subject, but like know their likes, know their dislikes, and show some interest in their likes. And it's a magical process. Once you are able to build that rapport, half of the battle is won there itself. So children do take immense respect irrespective of subjects. Many a times we have a thought like when it comes to activities like science experiments and art activities and craft activities, children are interested. Not like this. It is up to you what kind of activities you are designing by considering their interest. You just keep them mind in designing the activities, keep their interest in the mind, and see the magic. Great. Then thank you all for being here. I'm sharing the link of a Google form. uh, Please do the needful and you'll get the certificates by tomorrow morning. I'm sharing the link in the chat. Please do the needful. I hope all of you have received the link. Great. And I'm sorry that it is very late to wish you all a very happy Independence Day. It's 75th Independence Day. Hope you all have celebrated with lot of fun and you have enjoyed this day. And I want to wish you all the best for your planning. I'm hoping this session of mine will surely somewhere will give you the insight of making the learning effective. And I wish you all the best. Happy teaching, everyone. And yeah, thank you. Does anybody want to express, may express now or may express later on? Great. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. Bye. Have a good day.